Hello, my name is Maya. Welcome to part 4 of a comprehensive overview of Supernatural. I don't have much to say, just if you haven't watched the other parts, you should probably go ahead and do that, just because I actually explain the overall layout of this video. You may be like, why the fuck is Cardboard Cutout have wings? Dean, this is Dean, not Cass. Why does Dean have wings? And I will tell you it's because he's matching this cursed fanfiction pillow that my best friends bought me for $5 from China. And this is a bold decision, but we can only assume that Cardboard Cutout must match this pillow, and I did not buy the wings to put on the Cardboard Cutout. I bought it because I was this fanfic pillow for Halloween. Yes, it's weird. Also, Cass is wearing a fanny pack, and I don't want to explain why. So, without further ado, take it away, past me. We're gonna roll again. Whoop. With a 12. Okay, so we got a 12. The actors. Oh, look at that. Alright, same kind of deal for this one. I'm just gonna, I don't know, look shit up about them. See who plays these iconic characters, you know? Woo. Let's start with Jensen Ackles. So he plays Dean. I have a cardboard cutout of him. Hey Jensen, do you like the cardboard cutout of you? It has a tacos and tequila necklace on it and a cheap lei from the dollar store. I hope that this does justice to Dean and his soul, I would say. Aw, look at the pictures. Let's look at pictures. Oh, that's an ugly pinstripe suit. There he is, holding a rifle, pointing things. Oh, he's not even in this picture. It's just a picture of Misha Collins and Jared Padalecki. So that's fun. Okay. What is this? I don't know. Aww, hugging their dad. Ew, John. Oh, I liked that scene where they all got drunk after Jack died. Looks very upset. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, got some fun time here. Very pensive. They're in their typical plaid shirts and their blue jeans. And they're really thinking about something. They're really looking upset. Oh, I like that. I like him in that jacket. Aww. Jackie Poo. Oh, this is when he brought Jack a sandwich, like a good little dad, and some milk to help with his bones. Maybe that will stop him from dying. Aww, this is just looking sadly. Aww. I like how they had Jared still on the railing. That was a good choice. There he is with his wife. Cute. Yeah, his wife Danielle Ackles actually was in the show. She played Sister Joe and she had some sexy fun times with Lucifer. It was weird. I love him as a Peaky Blinder. He looks so good in this outfit. Like, when I tell you that I loved when Michael was possessing Dean solely because Michael made him dress like a Peaky Blinder, and it was just, he just looks so good. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I lost my shit. Maybe that's why I like season 14 so much. He literally looks, I don't know what it is about men dressing like that. Like, it just suits him. He looks great. He looks like he's gonna go walk down the alleyway dramatically with Tommy. Like, I'm feeling it, and I love it. Oh, he looks so good. Oh, close up. Yes. Oh, it's just more pictures of him with his wife. Cute. Oh my god, he just looks so good. He just looks so good. I'm gonna talk about the fact that he wore a trench coat like his boyfriend. Okay, we have to stop. Wait a minute. Is this from Days of Our Lives? Oh my god. Show me more. What is this? Oh my god. Ew, the facial hair is not it. What the fuck is going on here? Ew. Oh my god. He's not even in this. Oh, wait. He's got a mohawk. Got a mohawk. 10-inch hero. Oh, look at him in the Dean Cave. That one, this one's fun because they're wearing coats over the plaid, so it's like a double combo. Yeah. Aw, Scooby Natural. That was a good episode. I like how he's showing these pictures. Not even in that. I guess it shows his voice acting. I guess he does voice act. He plays Batman, I believe, and sometimes. Anyways, let's go to his biography. Let's learn about him. So he was born March 1st, 1978 in Dallas, Texas. Ew. I don't know what Texas is like. I've never personally been to Texas, but Texas scares me. As a Canadian who just hears secondhand stories of what happens in the south of the states, Texas scares the shit out of me. But I may be wrong. Oh, look, his middle name is Ross. Go off. I don't believe this. I don't know why I don't believe this. He just seems so short in the show, and I know it's because Jared Padalecki's like so freaking tall, but like he doesn't seem like 6'1". Like I have him over there, and I don't know why. He just doesn't seem like he's 6'1". Like I don't know if they just sent me a shorter one, but like he just doesn't seem that tall. Like I feel as though this is like I don't believe this. You know? Like I don't know why I don't. You know what? Do I have a tape measure? No, I don't have a tape measure, but just, I guess I could get a ruler out, and no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know why I don't believe it. I don't know why I don't, but I just don't. I don't believe he's 6'1". I just don't believe it. I don't know, guys. Oh, his dad was an actor. He has an English, German, and Scottish ancestry. Go for him. He's got an older brother named Joshua. We love the Christianity of it all. Jensen graduated from Dartmouth Elementary School. Okay, when I first read this, I like briefly looked. I thought that like he meant like Dartmouth, like the university, and I was like, damn, okay, go off, Jensen. But no, why would you put what elementary school you graduated from? It's not. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but it's not an accomplishment to graduate from elementary school unless it's different in the States. But like you can graduate, they want you to graduate from elementary school. They will literally do anything to make you graduate from elementary school. They'll like do extra credit shit like that to make it so that you graduate. Like it's so hard to fail elementary school. It just is. I mean, it's a bit more impressive that he graduated from Apollo Junior High School. Oh, that's like a middle school. LV Barkner High School. I don't know how that system works, but good for him. He graduated high school. It's more than Dean did. Did Dean graduate high school? I doubt it. I think he's a dropout. Jensen is a sports junkie. Okay, he loves football, lacrosse, baseball, and basketball. Okay, lacrosse is Canada's national sport. No, it is not hockey. Well, hockey's the national winter sport, and lacrosse is the national summer sport, so I guess it technically is. He even played baseball and lacrosse teams in high school. Okay. Why is he putting so much from like high school? Yeah, I was on the volleyball team for like one day in high school. I think I should put that on my resume. I'm being so mean to him. I don't believe he's 6'1". Started modeling when he was 2 years old. Yes, go on. When he turned 4, he started appearing in TV commercials for Nabisco, Radio Shack, and Walmart. Okay, we stand Walmart. He got the acting bug because he was mostly influenced by his papa, who was an actor in Dallas. Okay. He used to watch his father study scripts, and that taught him a few things about the industry. He started taking theater classes in high school. Good for him. Where he claimed he was the only jock in that department. Oh my god, he was Troy Bolton. Oh my god, Jensen. I didn't realize. Okay, I take it all back. He was the Troy Bolton. He played sports and he was into theater. And I wonder if he ever had to dramatically choose between the two. Like, I wonder if he ever went to his high school after hours and somehow got in, even though it was like probably 7 p.m. and the doors were closed. And then he dramatically walked down the hallways yelling a very loud song about how he wanted to scream. I just wonder if he ever did that. Because if he did, mad respect. Do you think that High School Musical is like based on Jensen Ackles? Because he really said, you know what? I'm gonna be a jock and a theater kid. Wow. I take back all the criticisms. You can be 6'1" if you want to be 6'1". You are Troy Bolton. Yes, Jensen. What am I doing? Oh, okay. He planned to study sports medicine at Texas Tech University and become a physical therapist. Oh. He has some guest starring roles in Wishbone, Mr. Rhodes, and Sweet Valley High. But obviously his biggest was the Days of Our Lives. He won a Soap Opera Digest Award for Best Male Newcomer. Good for him! And he was nominated for some Daytime Emmy Awards. Okay. Yes, he auditioned for Clark Kent on Smallville. He didn't get it. Okay. He was in Dark Angel as a serial killer. So that's how he learned how to serial kill. Oh, he was in something with Jessica Alba. The character died in the episode. Oh no. Thanks, clone. Wow. He was in Dawson's Creek. I watched like half the first episode of Dawson's Creek and I did not like it. Sorry. Truly Dawson Creek's fan. I don't know what I was expecting, but it really wasn't, I don't know, there wasn't really anything there. I don't know, maybe it gets better. Let me know if you've watched Dawson's Creek and it gets better after the pilot, because I only got halfway through. And usually I have more patience. Then again, I was with my sister who has 0 patience, so that may have been one of the reasons why I saw it. I think I would have gone through the entire episode if it hadn't been with my sister, but it still wasn't that great. Okay, he was on Smallville though. Okay. Oh my god, and then he went to Supernatural. Oh wow. And they are brothers who drive throughout the United States hunting paranormal predators, sometimes with their father, John Winchester, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Well, sometimes being one season, because he'd be dead. Yeah. Mention the show will last for a maximum 5 seasons. Don't fucking say. Hey, Eric Kripke. What happened? You should have stuck with your guts. You did the 5 seasons. You did the entire arc. It's like, guys, don't worry. It'll only last for 5 seasons. I mean, 5 times 3 seasons. Lasts for a maximum of 5. Maybe my life would be better if it had lasted for a maximum of 5 seasons. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh yes, he's in a band. Good for him. Okay. I remember this. He is in a band. Let's see what he is known for. His deep, husky voice. Okay. His ginger beard that I don't like. His freckles. Freckles. Who wrote this? His green eyes. Yeah, okay, he's got green eyes. I'll give you that. So I agree with like 2 out of 4. Oh my god. Okay. I want to look at his pop. I want to look at Pop. Alan Ackles was born on October 20th, 1948. Okay. He's known for Devour and he was in Supernatural as well. Who did he play? What episode of Supernatural? Oh no, wait. most nursing 5 seasons. Don't say things you don't believe. Detective Pike. Whoa. That's fun. I didn't know that. Was it just a family affair to be on Supernatural? Wow. Okay, what else has he been in? Oh, he's been in like 4 things. Okay, well. That's so fun though. That is really fun, I must say. Okay, I think Jensen Ackles has a beer is it beer? Family business beer company. I'm gonna reserve a table. Yes. Ooh. Oh no. It's closed. I've been on a Monday. Not that I'm going to be going there. If I ever do go there, I'll go there. Aw, look, there he is. There's his wife. There's people I don't know. Aw, it's pet friendly with poopers. Ooh, this is nice. There's a playground. Do you think it has a sandbox that goes to heaven? Oh. Where is it located? Ah, yes. Dripping Springs, Texas. My usual hunting ground. Oh. Find our beer in cans and on draft. I actually looked into if I could like order the beer, but it does not look like I can order the beer. I wonder if I can. If you ever pick up, yeah, I'm just gonna get in my car and drive to Texas to pick up the beer. Sorry, Jensen, I really did try to order your beer, but I live in Vancouver, so let's look at the beer options. Hamilton Pale. Apricot. I don't even like beer, and I would drink his beer. I don't know what that says about me. Tropical citrus aroma. Ooh. Cosmic Cowboy. Okay, Golden Age. I don't know. I read somewhere that he named one after like Misha Collins. Is that did someone make that up? Is that like a fangirl making that shit up? Like eyes like the sky, a pillowy, soft body, moderate above, and those drift away in the citrusy. That looks really nice name. Oktoberfest. Which one's the one he named after Misha? He's got so many options. Randy. The Ocelot. This one's just taking in like, I love the way that they photograph this one. I'm saying it sarcastically, I don't know. It's kind of freaking me out. Like this doesn't look natural. Ghost. Oh, he named one after a ghost. This one's beautiful. Look at that one. Okay, well, if anyone knows which one he named after Nisha, tell me in the comments. Okay, didn't the people from Vampire Diaries also start like a brewing thing? Is that just something you do when you're like in a supernatural show? You just start like a brewing company? Okay, let's look at him on Days of Our Lives. Oh my god, he looks like a player, bad boy player. Wait, no, give me information. What bad. Days of Our Lives wiki sucks. No, I want to. I want to watch him. No, I just want like a what's the name of his character? He portrayed Eric Brady. I want a quick summary of what Eric Brady was. What was his deal, you know? Did he, there it is. There, he clicked on it too. Fictional character, Days of Our Lives. Okay, he's a twin sister of Sammy Brady. That's not Jensen. So Jensen Ackles was cast in the adult role of Eric when the character was rapidly aged from a preteen to a young adult in July 1997. He was on 3 years of the show. There he is. Okay, let's see what's up with him. Storylines. Okay, Eric and twin sister Samantha Sammy Brady are born in 1994 to Roman Brady and his wife, Dr. Melina Evans. Eric is named after his great uncle, Eric Brady Sr. Following their mother's supposed death in the spring of 1987, the twins are sent to live with Marlena's parents, Frank and Martha, in Colorado. What's Colorado like? However, the twins continue appearing on screen through the frequent visits to Salem. What? There were witches? What? This looks like there's a supernatural theme. I mean, he's in The Boys right now. I mean, he's going to be in The Boys season 3, so like that has superheroes, so it's kind of supernatural. By the way, really excited for that. I really fucking love The Boys. It's a great show, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in Soulja Boy. Eric stays a while longer in Colorado with his grandparents, arriving back in Salem in 1997. They have 4 half-siblings. Give me the tea. Returns home and he's against his mother relationship with John Black. No. Meanwhile, he suspects Sammy of faking amnesia. Oh my god, soap operas are fucking wild. Like, why would someone, to get Austin Reed to fall in love with her? Okay. Why would you need to fake amnesia to get someone to fall in love with you, Sammy? Give me the context. With the help of her friend Carrie, of Carrie and her friend Mike Horton, Eric helps uncover Sammy's scheme just before her wedding to Austin. What? What? The group also reveals that Sammy's son, Will, was actually fathered by Lucas Roberts, not Austin, as Sammy has been claiming. Oh, maybe she like cheated on Austin and then pretended she had amnesia and didn't remember cheating on Austin with Lucas. And then that's why she needed to have amnesia. That's the canon I'm going with. Sammy's furious with Eric for his betrayal, but she soon forgives him when she realizes he did not intend to hurt her. Well, if he's like revealing the scheme, isn't that an intent to hurt? Eric soon realizes he's being stalked by an old schoolmate, Jed Fox. Eric had previously been accused of date rape when Jed was the actual Jed. No. Jed threatens to kill Sammy unless Eric takes responsibility for the rape. However, Eric convinces Jed to admit to his crimes and accept his punishment. Eric later develops an infatuation with how did he convince him? How does one convince someone to like admit to a crime and go to jail when they don't want to? He was literally gonna kill someone to not do it. He's gonna commit another crime to get out of the one crime he already did commit. And what did he do? I mean, I'm assuming he just pulled some Dean speech out of his ass. Okay. Eric later develops an infatuation with waitress Nicole Walker. Okay. Eric begins working as a photographer for Countess Helmina Cosmetics and tries to get Nicole hired as a model. Nicole and Eric eventually begin dating, but the relationship is strained thanks to Nicole's checkered past. When Eric focuses attention on Sammy's upcoming murder trial. Murder? Sammy? Now first the faking of amnesia, and now the cheating, and now the murder? Sammy's a hot mess. Oh no, Nicole falls for Lucas, the person who impregnated Sammy. Oh my god. Eric soon falls for an older woman, Greta Von Amberg, and he breaks up with Nicole when she suddenly marries Lucas. Oh my god. Sammy is convicted of murder and since his death. What? Fortunately, Lucas admits to the crime to save Sam and his mother, Kate Roberts, gets a dying man to write a false confession to the murder, freeing both Sammy and who did the murder? Who was murdered? Eric's relationship with Greta is strained because he still has lingering feelings for Nicole. Greta realizes that Eric will never get over Nicole and ends the relationship. After nearly being killed in a railway. That's it. We don't know what. Eric decides to leave Salem. Eric leaves town in July 2000 after he admits to Nicole that he was always loved her. In June 2008, Sam reveals that Eric had been in a car accident in Colorado. Though he doesn't suffer any serious injuries, Marlena rushes to his side. I don't know who Marlena is. Okay, that was a lot. First of all, I have questions and I don't want to find the answers, but can someone tell me who the murder was? Who was the real murderer? Was it Sammy? Was it Lucas? Was it Dying Man? Who was murdered? I have questions that I don't want to watch Days of Our Lives to answer them. Anyways, yeah, so I think his current projects are Batman, being the voice of Batman, and then he's in The Boys, as I mentioned before. But yeah, that's Jensen Ackles. I believe he also has a band, but I'm not going to listen to his music in fear that I don't like it and then put a strain on my future relationship with Jensen Ackles. Also, I don't know if it's gonna get copyrighted or not because I don't really know how copyright works, so I'm just gonna leave it off. Yeah, but he did sing in that one episode of Supernatural, and I thought he was pretty good, so I don't know why he sang, I don't know what was going on, but that was fun. Okay, let's move on to Jared. Right, so I think his latest project is Walker, and I believe he's in that with his wife, Genevieve Padalecki, who he did meet on the Supernatural set, and she played Ruby. Okay, bud, tell me about yourself. Born in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, why is everyone born in Texas? Moose? Put that there, that's what Crowley calls him. Okay, so he's 6'4", so I can see why he would look extremely bigger than Jensen, but I just don't believe Jensen's height. I'm so sorry. His real name is Tristan. That's a fun middle name. He's got such a shorter bio, maybe because he doesn't say that he graduated from elementary school. He graduated. I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be so shady. Jared Padalecki was born in San Antonio, Texas, to Sherry Kramer, a teacher, and Gerald Padalecki, a tax accountant. Go for him. He's Polish. I did learn that in the one where they were themselves, for that one episode, you know. And German, and English, and Scottish, and French. Oh, do you think he speaks French? Jared, est-ce que tu parles français? Oh, he didn't answer. Fuck. Jared started to take acting lessons when he was 12. Then he won the Claim to Fame contest in 1999. He got to appear on the Teen Choice Awards. What? Jared? What a big accomplishment. Jared lived in San Antonio, Texas, and attended James Madison. Oh, okay. Well, he didn't say where his elementary school was, so I'll give him a pass. He was named a candidate for the year 2000 Presidential Scholars Program. Oh, so he's like a smart dude. Graduated in the year 2000, he moved to Los Angeles, where he was, yes, in Gilmore Girls, playing Dean. You know, so I watched Gilmore Girls before watching Supernatural, so obviously I knew of Jared Padalecki, and I knew him as Dean, so it was so weird to watch the show at first when, like, he wasn't Dean, and then now, having watched 15 seasons of Supernatural, it's weird to think of him as Dean, because, like, that's Dean, you know? He's Sam. So it's weird how that works, but yeah, to be completely honest, I wasn't a Dean and Rory shipper. But was anyone a Dean and Rory shipper? I was a Dean and Jess shipper. I liked the spice. I liked Milo, whatever his last name is. It's very long and complicated. I liked his face. I liked, I don't know. It's been a while since I watched the show and I don't want to rewatch the show. And the spin-offs is shit. Also, Rory sucks. Okay. I'm just gonna put it out there. Rory sucks. Rory is a cheater. Rory is so self-centered. Rory is honestly kind of a shit human being. Like, she starts off really nice, but like, think about, though I'm not a huge fan of Dean, the Dean from Gilmore Girls that Jared Padalecki plays, he was a really like sweet guy, and he like did try to, you know, like he was a good boyfriend to Rory. Like, I don't think there was anything super wrong with him as a boyfriend. He just wasn't really my cup of tea, but like, he got really jealous, right? And you can understand why, because she was clearly flirting with Jess. Like, she was clearly, like, at least emotionally cheating. And then she actually cheated on him when she kissed Jess. And it's like, okay, Rory, maybe it was a one-time thing. Maybe it was like a spur of the moment, like not technically super justifiable, but like, okay, mistakes happen. But like, this is a pattern of behavior. Like, do you remember? Okay, and then what really made me hate Dean is when he came back to the show and he like got married, right? But he was still in love with Rory, and then he cheats on his wife with Rory. And like no one sees the problem. And he like hates his wife. And it's like, why would you emotionally put someone through that turmoil of like marrying them when you clearly don't want to marry them? You clearly want to be with Rory. Cheaters, you know, together forever. And then he came back in the spin-off and he was like, I'm happy. And I was like, good for you, boo. Yeah, and then he was Sam Winchester on Supernatural. His trademarks are mole, okay, triangular nose. Okay, I have a triangular nose too, so I guess I can put that as a trademark. Sideburns. Who writes these? I want to know, do they write these or do like fans write these? Because this seems absurd. Puppy dog eyes. Okay, well, who wrote that? That's just someone, just literally Crowley just came in and wrote this. Deep baritone voice. Who wrote this? The fanfic writers. Towering height. He does, I will admit that. Oh, he's the same same manager as Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh. He was a year younger than Alexis Bledel. Okay. She played Rory. Oh, he was engaged. However, in 2008 at Supernatural Dallas Convention, he announced they were no longer engaged. When was... Oh... wait... I'm doing math. She ended in 2009? Oh, okay. Or if he was engaged and they definitely filmed that in like 2008, 2009, that's when he met Genevieve, who was playing Ruby in season 4. If I'm doing math correctly, season 4 is 4 years after 2005, so they would have filmed that in like 2008. They had a lot of good on-screen chemistry, so I actually think that they're a pretty cute couple. He met Tom Welling. Good for him. Oh yeah, okay, so they both use sign language with their children. He does use sign language in the show because Eileen, his love interest, is deaf. That's really cool. Me and my best friend, we tried to learn sign language once, and then one of our other friends got mad at us because we would talk in sign language, and she like couldn't understand, so she made us stop, and then we never started learning again. And she knows who she is. She's watching this. Just know you ruined our sign language learning. We could have been proficient in sign language. See if I remember anything. You could do like a lot of we could actually have like proficient conversations, and we used to like sit and like go back and forth and like quiz each other and stuff like that. Like I think this was like water or something. Something like that. So like some weird like water idea. Oh my god, no, we used to be so good. I'm so sad now. But I'm that's actually super awesome. Okay, I think he also has a beer company. Beer company? No? Did I make that up? Harley also co-owns 6th Street. No, that's just about Jensen Ackles. So maybe he doesn't have, maybe I just made that shit up. Watched Jared Padalecki do a keg stand with beer from Jensen Ackles' thing. Oh, okay. Fun! Okay, so he doesn't have a beer company. There wasn't much to talk about with Jared. Oh my god, I already went on my like Gilmore Girls spiel. Let's talk about Misha. Misha Collins. An embarrassing typo. Join a live Zoom with me and Jensen Ackles this weekend. Aww, cute. Is Castiel in love with Dean? It's a good question. Are Misha and Alex related? I know he has a very poppin' Twitter account. Okay, so he was in Timeless, and I did watch Timeless, and I didn't remember that he was in that, but yeah. Timeless was a good show. I I think it only got 2 seasons if I remember correctly, and then they brought it back for that like ending finale thing. But it's kind of sad because like that show actually was really creative and it was good. I can't believe it ended. Oh my god, not the TSA thing. Okay, I'm not gonna watch it again because it actually like really, I was not feeling it. But he made these like TSA videos. I think they're just supposed to be like comedy videos if I'm like reading the room correctly, with actually with Daniel Act. And oh my god, look, it made me really uncomfortable. Maybe it's just not my type of sense of humor, but they were really I don't want to say anything bad about him, but it was not good. It was not good. I did not like it. Doesn't mean other people will not like it either. They just made me a little bit uncomfortable. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I think his definitely his biggest and longest role was Supernatural. Okay, let's read his little bio. Born in 1974. I believe he's the oldest out of all of them. He's 5'11". That checks out. That checks out. Okay, I'm measuring their heads in my mind. Okay, I guess maybe he is 6'1". Because if Misha Collins is 5'11", that checks out in my mind. And that cardboard cutout is just a little bit taller. But then again, they could have, like conspiracy, they could have made the cardboard cutout taller to match the IMDb page. Oh, I don't believe this. I don't know, he just doesn't feel like he's 6'1", okay? He, like, Misha Collins feels like he's 5'11". It's like, that sits well in my stomach, you know? Okay, Misha Collins is an actor, best known for his roles Angel and Castiel. There he is, back there. Misha, I have a cardboard cutout of you. How do you feel about that? My sister really wants to know how they would feel about me having a cardboard cutout, and I'm okay with them never knowing how they feel about me having a cardboard cutout. But if this somehow reaches them, you want to put it in the comments and make my sister's dreams come true and tell me if you think it's weird that I own the cardboard cutouts of you guys. He was in Monk. Oh, my mom loves that show. CSI, NYPD Blue, Charmed. Is on the big screen. Misha is most known for his role in a film called Carla, about a real-life serial killer named Paul Bernardo, a film he has openly said he regrets making due to the nature of the real events in the film based on. Interesting. I wonder if it wasn't very respectful. I know a lot of the times when you make movies about serial killers, like I'm in criminology, so I study a lot of this stuff, but like making films about a serial killer, you have to walk like a very dangerous line where you can't make them too like sympathetic or heroic in the eyes of like the viewers, because that's very disrespectful to obviously the victims of that person's crimes. And you know, like I think that was kind of the problem that people saw with Zac Efron's Ted Bundy. I didn't see a huge problem with it. I think that the problem was that it was Zac Efron. I think Zac Efron's a very attractive man who has the Troy Bolton fame going for him, teen idol if you will. And it was definitely an interesting choice to make him Ted Bundy. But I do think he acted it quite well, and I don't think that overall it was super like disrespectful to the victims, but I can see how it may come across as that, because why would you want to make a movie about a serial killer, you know? Like that's kind of I think where the disrespect comes from, is like, why would you feel like you want to publicize this story that's real and tragic? Like making a movie or a TV show about a fake serial killer is one thing, but a real serial killer with real victims, with real families of that victim who are still hurting and probably grieving and probably don't want to see fangirls on Tumblr thinking that Ted Bundy's Zac Efron was really freaking hot. You know what I mean? And I think that because Ted Bundy was such a hot dude, and that's how he got a lot of his victims, I think it makes sense to like cast an attractive person. Paul Bernardo, I don't know as much about as Ted Bundy because I did an entire paper on Ted Bundy, but I think the point being is like you making the movie or the TV show itself, you're already kind of crossing a line that you probably shouldn't, if that makes sense. Like even if you try your best to make it as respectful as possible and to properly portray the harms done. And I think that like Zac Efron did a good job at making Ted Bundy like angry, but I think they focused way too much on his love story with his girlfriend, and they did portray it as abusive, so that was good. I remember reading that like he pushed her off of a boat one time, if I'm remembering that correctly. But yeah, so you really do have to walk a line, so I can see why he would regret doing that, because like this is real life, you know, it's making the movie and the TV show in itself about this real life event that's extremely traumatizing to people, and there's still victims out there, well, like families, victims who are out there. Yeah, that's not the best, but obviously people have an interest in this, right? You know, I do. I'm in criminology. I have an interest in these types of people, but you know, there's one thing about making a documentary and another thing about making a movie, I think. That's my opinion on that. Misha Collins was born Misha Dmitry Tibbins Krushnik, in Boston. Okay, so he wasn't born in Texas. I like him better. I'm so mean to the Texas. I'm sorry to people who live in Texas. I really am. I don't really have anything wrong with Texas. Boston's probably not that great either. He has a Hungarian, Russian, Jewish, German, English, Scottish, and Irish ancestry. Okay. He earned a BA in social theory from the University of Chicago. He is the most well-educated. Good job! You getting your education. Graduated with honors. Okay. Before turning to acting, he worked as a carpenter and a woodworker. Okay, look at him go. He's got a university degree. He's got some hands-on experience. Good for him. Misha also interned at the White House during Clinton administration and worked at National Public Radio headquarters in DC. What? Okay. This is impressive. I'm like unimpressed by like having like this long active resume, but like I see him like getting a degree and like doing internships, and I'm like, oh my god. Like it's like, oh, Jared was on Gilmore Girls. But you know, Misha got a degree, so apparently that's what I really want here. He's a published poet with with works in the Columbia Poetry Review, the California Quarterly, and other maybe we can find a poem. He has helped produce Salute, won Best Film Documentary Feature. Oh, good for him. It aired on HBO. Founded Random Acts, which has built schools, orphanages, and mobilized people all over the world to participate in good works. Misha has run several marathons. Okay, he's honestly kind of a Renaissance man. I'm actually, I did know a little bit about his charity. That's actually really, it's awesome. He's run several marathons and ultra marathons. 42 competition distances can range from 50 kilometers to 100 miles and more. What the? Oh my god. Okay. Someone was an athlete. I'm saying, you know, competition. That's actually really impressive. He produces a cooking show with his son, Cooking Fast and Fresh with West. Aww. He runs the world's, and he runs the world's largest scavenger hunt. Kishwish is the greatest international scavenger hunt the world has ever seen, which helped him break 5 Guinness World Records. Spent months in seclusion in monasteries at Yosemite, Tibet, and elsewhere. He's a certified lifeguard, EMT, and motorcyclist who rides sides of Bellingham. Okay, why can he do everything? Like, I'm not even kidding. He literally looks like he can do everything. This man is something. He is the Renaissance man of the 21st century. No longer will Leonardo da Vinci be be seen as the ultimate Renaissance man. Now it will be Misha Collins. I'm impressed. I'm actually so impressed. Misha has a famously quirky sense of humor and incredible talent for relating to his fans, which has earned him a dedicated Twitter following. He jokingly refers to his Twitter followers as minions and flunkies, and to himself by several titles, including Supreme Overlord, the Babysitter, and the Great Confuser. Good for him. He only gets 2 trademarks: his quick wit during interviews and his bright blue eyes. I can confirm they are in fact blue. Okay, I have to know what his poems are. This man, why can't he do everything? Show me a poem. He's writing a poetry book, guys. No Pinterest, don't be like that. This morning, the smell of bacon brought me downstairs, but before I reached the open kitchen door, a voice stopped me, my mother telling her old arthritic dog, "I know, sweetness, you've been carrying those bones for a long time." I leaned unseen on the mildewed on the mildew's windowsill, watching her sip coffee, fry bacon, her old dog pressing at her knee. Nice. I'm not really a poetry person, so I can't really say, like, I don't really enjoy much poems, so. But it was fine. It didn't make me mad. So there's that. He still practices Buddhist meditation and goes on a 10-day retreat once a year. To say that he's better than us and we don't deserve him, I think is something we need to have to realize. He built his own home? He read Revelations preparation. That's cute for Israel Castiel. His house burned down when he was in high school. Oh my god. The name Misha is after his mother's Russian ex-boyfriend. Oh, his wife Victoria is a writer. He is the current world record holder for organizing the largest international photo scavenger hunt. Okay, that's fucking insane. Why did he name his kid Maison? He does realize that's like home in French, right? Unless I'm supposed to pronounce that Mason, but I think I'm not. Maison Marie. Actually, it's kind of nice. Maison Marie. User Tumblrs changed their pictures to Misha. They refer to as Misha Apocalypse. Okay, Tumblr, go off. Okay, the sign language thing. Okay, is there something that Misha has a scar on his right leg that reads Y. He gave himself when he was 13. I mean, why? No, honestly, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. He's got everything going for him. He ran an ultra marathon. He built his house. I don't know what else. I mean, he's great. I think we've just established here. I think we have established that Misha Collins is an extraordinary man. This is what we learned today. Okay, let's look at my boy Corral. Doom Patrol, MacGyver. Warehouse. That's where I'd seen him from. White Collar. Okay, I recognized him and I couldn't for the life of me remember. I mean, I could have Googled it, but I didn't. I couldn't for the life of me remember where I'd seen him from. White Collar was a really good show, by the way. That's where I saw him from. Okay, that makes complete sense now. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Doctor. He's a British actor, so he must have been Doctor Who. But that's kind of funny because of the whole super Who lock thingy. He really jumped into those days. Was he in Sherlock too? Damn. Okay, he was in Monk. Everyone's been in Monk. He was in Firefly. Okay. Charmed. I believe someone else was in Charmed too. It was Jensen. The Invisible Man TV series. I read the Invisible Man book. It's good. H.G. Wells. But I haven't seen any of them. It was in the X-Files. So that's how we got the job in Supernatural. Okay. Okay. Let's read his bio. Mark Andreas, 5.5 inch. I believe that. I believe that. Oh my god, he's such a short little bio. Mark Andreas Shepard was born on May 30th, 1964 in London, England. He's an actor, director, and producer known for Supernatural, Battlestar Galactica. Boy, would hate me. Firefly, Leverage, Doctor Who, In the Name of the Father, and many others. He is married to Sarah Louise Fudge. It's a fun last name. In 2015. He's got a divorce. He's really a demon. He has 3 trademarks. Frequently plays cunning villains and anti-heroes. Low and raspy. Okay, who is putting a low and raspy voice on this? Just tell me who is doing this. What fan sits and goes to all of the IMDb's, except for apparently Nisha's, and puts a low voice or something? Often speaks with a Cockney accent. Fun. I too also pretend to speak in accents and I'm not very good at it. Was a successful musician and toured with many bands from the age of 15. He was in Sunset Curve. He's the only actor to appear in... Yeah, I know a fan wrote this because only a fan would say he's the only actor to appear in Supernatural and Doctor Who. Only a Tumblr Superlock fan would care about that. He lives in Los Angeles. He's been sober since 19... That's awesome. Good for him. His birthday and anniversary with Star Trek actor Comey. Okay, so... Why do I care? Okay, he seems nice. I'm glad I figured out where I recognized him from. Let's look at Alex. How old is Jack? Unspecified. Okay, he was in The Edge of 17, which is a great show. Bates Motel is a fucking phenomenal show. He was in Arrow too? Oh, I didn't know that. The Boys. He's been in some really, like, good things. Like, The Edge of 17 is a great movie. Bates Motel. I love Bates Motel. I think Bates Motel had one of the best endings I've ever seen of a show. It may not be for everyone, but I really liked it. The Troop. Psych. Oh, my mom likes that show. Oh, hi. This would be that person, but he's fucking sexy. Okay. I like the black and white. I like him in the... This is a fun look for him. Oh, hi. Aww. What are you doing? You have to lie down a lot in this show, huh? With Rowena. Who takes these pictures? Oh, it's a great shot of him, like, dirty and his hair flick like that. Bobby and Mary. That one time Dean was mean to him. Oh, he's so beautiful. There's Kaya right there. So beautiful. Oh, Dean. Honey. Oh, look, he's using his powers. Oh my god, I can't do it. Okay. Angry. Oh my god, wait. I recognize this. This is at Riverview Mental Hospital. Julia. We missed one. Oh god. We're a failure. Okay, why this shot? Like, why this? Okay, I gotta stop. Just wanted to look at his beautiful face for a while. I wanna see his bio. Oh, he's Canadian. Yay. There's nothing on him. He's 5'9". I thought he was taller. Why is there nothing on him? So sad. Well, we looked at some pictures. Who's the last person? Oh, the other Mark. Pellegrino. He's not as good as the Lucifer from Lucifer, the TV show. Why did Jensen Ackles have such a long ass bio? 13 Reasons Why. Okay. Okay, it looks like he's a voice actor. He's in Quantico, Inhuman, Grimm. I watched 2 seasons of that. I kept forgetting to like continue watching, so I guess I just didn't want to. Castle, yeah, okay, I've seen that. Lost. I watched 6 episodes of Lost, and then decided I didn't like The Mentalist. Yeah, that was a good show. Ghost Whisperer. I know that one. Oh, Prison Break. I've never actually seen it, but okay, Knight Rider. Okay. Dexter. Never actually seen Dexter. Maybe this should be my next watch. Maybe I should do Dexter next. Oh, I remember The Beast. Oh no, I'm thinking about that movie. No, I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about the Vanessa Hudgens movie with is it Austin Butler? And like he gets turned, he's like a rich asshole, so he gets like tattooed a little bit and he becomes the Beast. That's what I'm thinking of. That's not it. That's not what it is. Okay, he's been in a lot of stuff. Full bio. He's 6'2". That I believe. Do I believe that? I think I believe that. He's Born on April 9th, 1965 in Los Angeles, California, USA. He's an actor and producer known for The Big Lebowski, National Treasure, and Number 23. Oh, he's not known for Supernatural. Okay, go off. He's married to Tracy Pellegrino since 2008. So 2 kids. Oh, well, this doesn't add up. 2 children. 1 child. He's known for his blonde hair, and he frequently plays villains. Well, even you get typecast, right? Like, he was pretty good as Lucifer, I would say. Like, he just wasn't my favorite iteration of Supernatural. Well, I think Supernatural's version of Lucifer just wasn't my favorite iteration of Lucifer. Why do I care that he has a stepdaughter? Okay. In 2 of his most favorite roles, he has played immortal and extremely powerful characters. He played Jacob in Lost, the almost godlike protector of the mysterious island. And then he's played Lucifer, a villainous fallen angel. I like how they had to specify what Lucifer was. Like, I think people know who Lucifer is. He was a serious contender for the role of Castiel. That would have been weird. That would have been so weird. I really just, like, Misha Collins is Cass. Like, I just think it would have been weird. I just don't see it. Okay, that concludes this portion of the video. Not me realizing I rolled 2. Okay, so we rolled a 2. Time travel and alternate dimensions. Alright, so I wanted to talk about the alternate dimensions and how I think they were used badly in the show compared to a similar type of power, the time travel power, and how that was used better than the two dimensions were. I have a lot of beef with the alternate dimensions. But first, let me explain the 2 techniques that were used in the show. So, time travel. There are 7 episodes between season 4 and season 11 that I would count as like time travel themed episodes, and we consistently had a season from season 4 to season 8. It was like a mandatory thing they had to do. In fact, in season 5 there were actually 2 time travel episodes. So for clarification, I'm not including season 3 episode 11 because it was a time loop. However, I am including season 8 episode 12 when their grandfather comes back in time to see them, because that still had time travel. So the way they time travel in the show remains pretty consistent. You can either use an angel or an archangel. Well, an angel up until they fell from heaven and they lost that power. So mostly Cass was the one that was getting them to time travel in season 4 and season 5 and season 6. And then Dean hopped on a back of Kronos, season 7. And so the other way is with a spell that takes you to people in your bloodline in the future. So we saw Henry Winchester, their grandfather, on their dad's side, use this once. He was a man of letters, which is the super secret cult that is super great at supernatural stuff. And you can also piggyback a ride on Kronos. That one fucking time in season 7, they just needed a time travel episode, and they were like, oh my god, wait, I remember, there's this Greek titan, but I'll call it god, who can time travel. And they were like, I'm gonna use them. And I was like, but was it worth it? So that Dean could meet, was it Elliot Ness? I don't know. The Untouchables, that movie. Was it worth it? No. It was bad episode. It was a really bad episode. Anyways, so that's time travel. Now alternate dimensions. So at the end of season 12, we are introduced to our first alternate dimension, and Jack opened it before he was born, because like him being bored was like too much power. So there was a power surge, and it opened a rift, which is like the alternate dimension. So we get introduced to Apocalypse World, and she's like the main bitch of alternate dimensions. We spend the most time with her, and she's the most well explained. It's basically just a world where Sam and Dean were never born. So the apocalypse was never stopped. But the semantics don't make sense because they started the apocalypse as well, but whatever. Apocalypse world to me looks like Westworld, and I call it Westworld because when I was first introduced to it, there was the church in the sand, and it reminded me of like that one good season of Westworld where they were like, there was that buried church in the sand. It looked the exact same. So I was like, oh my god, Westworld. And I continued the joke with only myself. And then there's also Monsterland, and she's part of the failed spin-off show that I was talking about in the Ghostfacers portion of this video. And she's basically just the alternate dimension side bitch. Sam and Dean get trapped in there for like an episode in season 13, and Kaya dies in there. But then she wasn't actually dead the entire time. And Dark Kaya's from there. And then they go back and they rescue Kaya. And when Chuck's like, I'm gonna destroy all the alternate dimensions, and you're like, okay, don't worry, Kaya is safe and sound. She is with Jody. She is with her supposed love, Claire. Me have doubts. They knew each other for a day, but okay. Monsterland is basically like a jungle, and there's monsters. We also know that there are a bunch of other alternate dimensions, including a bunch of other Earths as well. We meet a Sam and Dean from another Earth in season 15. And they seem to be the only other Sam and Dean besides our Sam and Dean who haven't killed each other, so I wonder if Chuck like forgot he made them. And they were like super spoiled and their dad was still alive. But yeah, I guess he didn't want the Sam and Dean to like kill each other, so good for that. We get montages via the psychic bond between Sam and Chuck of Sam and Dean's from other dimensions killing each other as well. So we know that there are a bunch of other dimensions and a bunch of other Sam and Deans who appear to have either Sam killed Dean or Dean killed Sam, kind of dealio. There's also apparently like an entire world full of squirrels, which I think is neat, and I think we should have seen that world. I feel robbed, honestly. We do spend some time on Earth too. She was giving me Bland vibes. Yeah, so Chuck destroys all these other worlds when he throws a tantrum. So like when we end the show, we have the Sam and Dean in Rio from the other dimension they just sent off to like Rio. And then we have some peeps from Apocalypse World, and that's pretty much it. Unless Jack started making alternate dimensions. I cannot confirm or deny whether Jack started making alternate dimensions, but we do not have any other alternate dimensions by the time the show ends. But we do have some people from alternate dimensions. Dark Kaya died in Monsterland, in case anyone was wondering. Good way to end your failed spin-off. So, how does one get to an alternate dimension? Well, you can be God, or Jack, or you can be God's sister Amara, and you can open a rift. But there's also a spell written on both the angel and the demon tablet that can open a rift to another dimension. So we see both, but Sam and Dean and Cass, they use the one from the demon tablet when they want to open the rift so they can get Mary and Jack back. So I'm going to now make the potion from the demon tablet that will open an alternate dimension, and we shall see if it works. I'm stealing his necklace. Sorry, bud. I've successfully gotten my ingredients. So, in order to open the rift, you need fruit from the tree of life. I was going to paint an apple gold. I did paint an apple. Then my ex-roommate, before she left, threw it out. So I just went and bought a yellow apple. But it's from the tree of life, I swear. I too had to marry a djinn to get it, like Cass. Yeah, they like just sent him away for one episode, and he like went to Syria alone and got the fruit of life, and I was like, okay, look, another side mission for him not to be here. Anyways, so fruit from the tree of life. The seal of Solomon, which will be played by this random emblem I got at Party City for 50 cents. It says, let's taco about it. And I got Dean a matching one that says tacos and tequila. I picked this out especially because when I saw the Seal of Solomon, what I saw was Party City. And Party City is basically just a very tacky looking something. So I got the tackiest thing I could find to represent her tacky, beautiful self. And no shade to the prop department, they made a beautiful bunker, but the Seal of Solomon was not your best. No, it just looked kind of tacky, so I just got something that looked equally as tacky and was taco themed. And from Party City, to rarely represent that it was Party City. So I need this, the Seal of Solomon. We need some Archangel blood, or Grace. Archangel Grace, which will be played by Marshmallows. You can see in the bowl, it's just this apple. And now, I don't know, how long do I want to stay in Squirrel World? I think I want to stay a while, so I'm going to put a lot of Archangel Grace in here. So I don't have to eat any right now. there. So the more Archangel Grace you put into the potion, the longer you'll be able to stay in Apocalypse World, or not, well, any other dimension. So like when they were going to save Jack and Mary from Apocalypse World, they had Lucifer constantly draining his grace slowly into the bucket so it would like stay open forever, but you only have a limited amount, then you will have a limited amount of time once the portal opens. Okay, these two, and then the last ingredient is blood of the most holiest man. And you know what's funny is on this episode where they like went to go get the blood of the most holy man, they like originally wanted to go get the blood of this dead saint, but they like met this priest, right, who was like so holy. Like he was so holy. He was so holy. Okay, I need to stop saying Justin Bieber. Anyways, so like they meet this extremely holy priest, and it takes them the entire fucking episode to realize that he might be a very holy man and they should take his blood. And they ask for his blood, and he's like, sure, I'm just gonna give blood to these random strangers I met 2 days ago. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyways, he's great. Let's just, I can't wait to keep doing this, ruining it. Ooh, blood of the most holiest of mans. Look at that. That'll get me into an alternate dimension. Okay. Ooh. And then we need something that has been there. Let's just pretend this is one of their fake FBI badges. There. I'm assuming we've been to Swirl World, right? I just missed that episode. I want to go to Swirl World, by the way. I don't want to go to Apocalypse World. She doesn't sound fun. Okay, so now I have to say words. I will say the words now. Kathmantonotox. It's supposed to like come out of the Seal of Solomon and open the rift. That's disappointing. Okay, that was actually kind of fun. Okay. Maybe like in the middle of the night, a rift will appear and I will be in Squirrel World, away from university and all my problems. That would be nice. Moving on. To me, alternate dimensions in the show, they were a wasted opportunity. Not only did we really only focus on like one alternate dimension, as I mentioned, Apocalypse World, but it felt like it was being used as a plot device to bring back characters that had died in Supernatural World. So this really frustrates me. I feel like time travel was kind of used in the same fashion, but it made more sense. Like a lot of the times, the time travel episode had a purpose. Like in season 5, we went back in time to save Mary and John from being murdered by Anna. She was the angel that Dean had sex with well, she technically was an angel at the time. She was like an angel without her grace, but she was technically still an angel. Anyways, Dean had sex with her in season 4. She like touched Cass's mark. It still offends me to this day. Anyways, yes, so they went back in time to save Mary and John, so like younger versions of themselves. So we still got the effect of seeing Mary and John Winchester, but who were both dead in the show, right, in the present timeline. But like it made sense for us to go back and save them, and it was only for an episode and we got to see like younger versions of them. That episode actually also gave us a lot of plot explanation. Like we found out that, you know, Mary had made a deal with yellow-eyed demons in order to save John's life, and that's how he got into the house and, you know, put the demon blood in Sam. So it definitely gave us a lot of context that we needed for the show. So like it was a worthwhile time. But and further than that, you know, they even got to meet like Henry Winchester, their grandfather, who they never knew, you know, but you know is obviously dead in the current timeline. And his storyline actually was again something plot worthy because it gave us the cool new HQ, the bunker, and also, you know, the new cult, the Men of Letters, that was very prevalent and a part of the rest of the story for like the latter half of the series. So like it made sense. On top of that, I think the really nice thing about the time travel episodes is that they were actually used sparingly and they weren't always based around Sam and Dean meeting dead characters. Like there was that one time in season 11 where Dean goes back in time to get a Hand of God weapon and he goes on a submarine during World War II. That was a fun episode. I liked that episode. You know, and though time travel kind of bugged me, its replacement, alternate dimensions, was not good for me. I really, like, I think I would have preferred if we just kept having one time travel episode a season instead of replacing time travel with alternate dimensions. So they were able to not only bring like the Archangel Michael back into the show. So if you don't know, when in order to stop the apocalypse, Sam, who was being possessed by Lucifer at the time, he and Adam, who was being possessed by Michael at the time, he like grabbed them and they jumped into the cage, right, sealing them both and how to stop them from destroying the world. So Michael was in the cage at this time. He was in Adam's body and he was in the cage, but they didn't really want to deal with that, right? Like they just didn't want to. I'm not even gonna like lie or anything. I just felt like they didn't want to bring him out of the cage. They didn't want to deal with the semantics of it, even though they brought Lucifer out of the cage, which didn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyways, so what they did is they just brought in alternate dimension Archangel Michael so that Dean could get possessed by Michael. And you know what, yeah, I absolutely loved the Peaky Blinders outfit. And I didn't mind season 14 at all. But you already had a Michael in your world that you could have gotten out of the cage, and then we could have had this entire series of events. We didn't need to build an entire alternate dimension to bring in alternate dimension Michael in order for him to possess Dean, you know? It was just a huge waste of time when you already had something that you were clearly not addressing and could have addressed. Also, they got to bring back Kevin. So Kevin was the prophet. He died in season 9 when Gadriel, who was possessing Sam, killed him. And, you know, I love Kevin. I really do. But did I really need to see the scary, weird version of him in Apocalypse World? Like, he looked like he was about ready to, like, I don't know. He had homicide in his eyes, you know? He looked crazy. There was Bobby. So Bobby, right? He died in season 7 and he was a ghost for a little while, and then every once in a while they'd mention him or have like a flashback episode. That was totally fine with me. But like they actually brought in like an alternate dimension version of Bobby, and I was like, what was the goddamn point of bringing an alternate dimension version of Bobby? Like, I like Bobby, but we didn't need alternate dimension version of Bobby. Like, it's like, did you regret killing Bobby, so you wanted to bring Bobby back, and you didn't want people to get mad at you that you brought Bobby back from the dead because you keep bringing people back from the dead? Like, when I tell you, it just makes me angry as fuck. And then also they brought back Charlie, and honestly, for reasons I will literally never comprehend. Like, if you really didn't want to kill Charlie, why did you kill her? Like, you kill her in season 10, the Stein family kills her, so Dean can go on a murderous rampage. And it's like, okay, but like, okay, if you really regretted that, maybe you shouldn't have done it. Like, you did it already. Like, don't bring in an alternate dimension of her. Like, I don't want alternate dimension Charlie. I didn't even want real Charlie, but like, I'm kind of pissed because it's like, you have to stick with the decisions you make, okay? You made a decision to kill a character. You can't just go back and bring them back because you regret that decision. You did that. You have to live with the consequences of that decision, okay? Supernatural, it infuriates me the way you cut corners. And I think the sad part is that alternate dimensions could have been really cool if we actually got to see more of them. We were introduced to worlds where we didn't get to bring back like every character they ever regretted killing. Like, if we were just introduced to other worlds, like I want to see Squirrel World, okay? And if alternate dimensions weren't just used in season 13 to make a plot, like they were rarely used after season 13. They were just used to bring back characters in season 13 and then to have a plot in season 13 because we needed to save Jack and Mary and we didn't know what we wanted to do that season. I don't know. I feel like it was a really cool concept, but I feel like they were underutilized and put in the show for the wrong reasons, and it actually kind of upsets me because it's a really cool idea. And if alternate dimensions had been used like time travel, where it would have been like an episode plot kind of thing, and the guys would go get to explore an alternate dimension each episode, I think that would have been cool. Like, what about they visit more worlds like Monsterland, where we get a new character like Darkaya, and the world had nothing to really do with Sam and Dean, and it would have been interesting to like explore the lore of different alternate dimension worlds and stuff like that. And like, that's the other thing. I feel like they never really truly explained the backstories of the worlds and how the cultures may differ and stuff like that. Like, that would have been cool to explain too. Like, you made these alternate dimensions. Like, show me more of what makes this alternate dimension unique. Show me little tiny small changes. Like, I know there's an apocalypse in Apocalypse World, but like Besides a few things like showing me how different Apocalypse World Cass is versus real Cass, like I felt like a lot of the times, you know, yeah, Charlie and Bobby had like slightly different backstories, but they were pretty much the same goddamn person. So like, but like you never really showed me the difference in cultures, because yeah, that one's at war, but like what was different before then? You know, like show me little things. We could have gone to like Earth 4 or something and seen like tiny little differences. Like imagine how cool that would have been. Like you brought in something cool, you never fucking utilized it properly. And they were just such a wasted potential. And then they were just destroyed by Chuck after 2 seasons. So what was the goddamn point? Okay, let's roll. 15. Okay, so we rolled a 15. The lies, the deceit, and the unresolved conflicts. Alright, so I would say that the most frustrating thing for me about Supernatural, well, besides the horrible abuse of death, is the lies and the withholding of truths and the unresolved conflicts. I cannot describe to you how frustrating it is to watch 15 seasons in 5 months back to back and have everyone just lie all the time, and then have everyone get mad, and then have the conflict be a big thing, and then all of a sudden the show decides it's done with it, so they just move on without really resolving anything or doing something like half-assed to resolve it. This is not always the case. I feel like there are some good examples of conflicts that were created and then solved. For example, I think that the whole Sam and Demon Blood and killing Lilith betrayal to Dean thing in season 4 was resolved decently well in season 5. They fought, they took time from each other, and they came back together, and it was hard at times, but I feel like they were able to slowly regain trust for each other, and then by the end of season 5, I felt like they were good, you know? I mean, Sam died at the end of season 5, but you get the point, like they were good, you know? Another shining example is the Dean and Cass fight at the end of season 14. The reason they started fighting when Cass didn't tell him about Jack sizzling a snake, yeah, that wasn't good. But everything after that, with Cass and Dean fighting about what to do with Jack, and then them being on different pages, and then they broke up, which I thought was great. They broke up in season 15. And like, because like Dean was not treating Cass well. And so Cass left a toxic situation. Like they took time from each other and came back and actually talked everything through, even though it was hard, and then Dean actually apologized, which is very rare in this show. I would say that I don't ever really hear Dean apologize that much. So there are examples where it's not bad, but I would say like the vast majority of the time I get very frustrated. So moving on to the subject. This show is full of dirty little liars. I mean, literally, Pretty Little Liars could never. They lie so much, and like the lies will last episodes, and it will be painfully drawn out. Sam and Dean lie to each other so much. Cass lies to them sometimes. Corrali lies to them. Their mom lies to them. By the end of the series, if anyone even minorly lied or like withheld the truth, I was about ready to blow my top. Like, I am Jack yelling at the end of season 14 that everyone needs to tell the truth. I just don't understand why everyone needs to lie all the freaking time. So I thought it would be fun to exemplify how many freaking lies there are in the show, that we would go over all of the big lies or like withholding of important information that Sam and Dean have done to each other throughout the entire series. And remember, this is only Sam to Dean or Dean to Sam, and it's not like a huge comprehensive list. These are like the big ones that I remember happening. I'm sure there are some small ones that I didn't remember. Sam lies about having supernatural abilities to Dean in season 1. Dean lies about what John told him about needing to kill Sam if he goes Dark Sam in season 2. Sam lies about being in contact with Ruby, as well as trying to break the Crossroads deal in season 3. Dean lies to Sam about there being no way to save him from Crossroads deals in season 3. Dean lies to Sam about being okay with dying with the Crossroads deal in season 3. Sam lying about learning his psychic powers with Ruby. Sam lying about working with Ruby to kill Lilith. Sam lying about drinking demon blood and being addicted to demon blood in season 4. Dean lying to Sam about not remembering Hell in season 4. Sam doesn't tell Dean he's been alive for like a year in season 6. Dean lying to Sam about him not having a soul for a hot minute in season 6. Sam lying about having hallucinations of Hell in season 7. Dean lying about killing Amy in season 7. I guess I should clarify they weren't really fully hallucinations of hell, they were hallucinations of Lucifer. And then what happened to him when he was in hell in the cage. Dean withholding the truth about what happened in Purgatory and about Benny in season 8. Sam withholding information about Amelia in season 8. Sam withholds information about hiring Martin to stalk Benny in season 8. Sam lies about being okay with when the trials were actually killing him in season 8. Dean lies about Ezekiel / Gadriel riding co-pilot in Sam in season 9. Dean lies about Cass leaving the bunker of his own volition in season 9. Dean lies to Sam about being fine with the mark when the mark of Cain was affecting him in season 9. Dean lies about being all good with the mark of Cain in season 10. Yes, the mark of Cain was very overwhelmingly present in season 9 and 10. Sam lies about continuing to find a cure for the mark of Cain in season 10. Sam lies about breaking Metatron out of heaven so they could find a cure for the mark of Cain in season 10. Sam lies about not burning the Book of the Damned and making a deal with Rowena to kill Crowley and getting her to cast a spell from the Book of the Damned to get the mark of Cain off and getting Cass and Charlie involved in the whole scheme in season 10. Sam lies about being bit by a rabbit in season 11. Dean lies about his connection with Mara in season 11. Dean lies about committing suicide to save Sam when he thought he was dead in season 11, episode 17. Sam lies about joining the British Men of Letters in season 12. Dean lies about his Malik box plan in season 14. Dean lies about Jack planning to sacrifice himself to kill God in season 15. A lot of freaking lies. And I just went over them briefly, but we would spend episodes on some of these lies. Some of them were maybe an episode or two, but some of them will take up half an entire season, or even an entire season. You know? All that Mark of Cain shit was all of season 10. That's all we were doing, was being dirty little liars to each other. Imagine all of these lies. And then on top of that, we have Cass lying to them in season 6 about his plan to gobble up Purgatory with Crowley. How about Mary lying to Sam and Dean for months about being a part of the British Men of Letters? How about Jack lying to Sam and Dean about nothing happening that one day he got left home alone and when he really accidentally stabbed a girl, but don't worry, he healed her. It just goes on and on and on. And I will allow Crowley or Rowena to lie and deceive them, but oh my god. Sam, Dean, and Cass, and even Jack and Mary. Guys, why are we lying and withholding information? I mean, you don't have to tell each other everything, but pertinent things that the other person needs to know. You know? I'm not mad at Dean for not telling Sam that Cass confessed his love before he died in season 15, but I am mad at Dean for not telling Sam that Jack was going to sacrifice himself in the process of killing God. Those are two very different situations. Okay? Need to know basis. Listen, this isn't my analysis of Sam and Dean's relationship. You already heard that. But I do want to mention that I don't think it's healthy when they are not very truthful with each other. I also think it's kind of bad lying because it's we're just creating more conflict on top of conflict. We already have the villain of the season, we have the monster of the week, and then we have the lie of the season or the lie of the week, you know? And I think it honestly is bad writing that for a solid 12 seasons they were constantly lying to each other. They never seemed to learn from their mistakes. In fact, the lies just seemed to get worse and worse as time went on. I think at some point they would have learned that every time they lie to each other, it always ends badly. That's the most frustrating part. It isn't the act of lying itself, it's that they kept doing it, even though it kept backfiring. Why do we never learn? Oh, it was so frustrating. I think it also made it worse that I watched it all back to back. So it would be lie after lie after lie after lie, consistently, you know? I feel if you watched it spread out, it probably wouldn't be as frustrating as it was to me, but there's a lot of lies back to back. Moving on. Now, another thing that really bugged me was how they would resolve a lot of these lying plots or just any conflict that would arise. I want to focus on season 9 in particular because I think they very much messed up. So in season 9, episode 1, Dean lets this angel, who he thinks is Ezekiel, who Cass vouched for over the phone. He didn't even see him. He was just oh yeah, Ezekiel's a fine soldier. And Dean was good enough for me. Anyway, so he lets who he thinks is Ezekiel possess Sam without his consent. And you're no, wait, Maya, you told me that you need an angel's consent. Let me explain. Sam was dying because the trials at the end of season 8 really took a number on his health, and he's very much broken inside and fake Ezekiel answered Dean's mass prayer for help. Okay. Dean, the angels fucking hate you. Why did you mass pray? Whatever. Very much desperation. It was like, okay, Dean, whatever. You go off and mass prayer to the people who fucking hate you. Anyways, and he was all like, I cannot heal him the normal way. I would need to be inside him and then like repair him from the inside, because he was like so like it was like molecular damage or something, and like it could take a while. And Dean was like, I don't think Sam would want that. You know, Sam would not want to be possessed again. He was already possessed by Lucifer, didn't like it, wouldn't want it again. Then he got scared, and that codependency, fear of abandonment, she really kicked in, and then he allowed fake Ezekiel to do this. So they needed Sam's permission to possess him, and Dean knew that Sam would never give his permission to fake Ezekiel. So fake Ezekiel, pretending to be Dean, tricked Sam into saying yes just as he was about to leave with death to, I presume, heaven. He's been a good enough boy, I guess. Then Dean proceeds to not tell Sam that fake Ezekiel is writing co-pilot for like an entire half of the season. So that's like 10 episodes, 10 to 11 episodes, because he's afraid that Sam will like eject him. You know, he's like afraid that Sam will exercise his bodily autonomy. Oh God, imagine Sam having control of his own fucking body. So the first half of the season, Dean is just keeps lying. Like he just keeps the lie going. He is nothing if not relentless in his fake stories to cover his ass. He lets like fake Ezekiel call the shots way longer than he should have. Then it's revealed that it is not Ezekiel, but Gadriel, who's like heaven's most wanted behind Cass and Lucifer. Anyways, Gadriel makes a deal with Metatron, unbeknownst to Sam and Dean. This deal leads to Kevin being murdered by Gadriel at Sam's hand. Their profit, bro. Sam is able to like eject Gadriel with the help of Crowley, by the way, and then he knows what happened. So this leads to Sam and Dean fighting, obviously, because Dean violated Sam so badly. They end up going their separate ways in episode 10, where Sam is just like disappointed with how Dean handled the situation, and Dean does the thing where he just walks away because before he can get rejected, kind of dealio. And then in episode 12, they decide to keep working together, but Sam puts this barrier up between them where he says it would only be work between them, and like how he doesn't want Dean to be his brother, and that Dean can't use the "we're family" excuse to get out of this one, which like, good point, Sam. He does use that excuse a lot. They have this conversation at the end of episode 13 that I think was a good start to like working things out and having a healthier relationship dynamic. Then after that conversation, things just kind of stalemate. We get episode 15 where Harry and Ed, the ghost facers, are like in a similar situation to Sam and Dean, you know, where Harry lied to Ed about his supernatural monster, the Thin Man, that they were supposed to be hunting all this time, and it was so that Ed wouldn't leave him and the ghost facers, and then Harry and Ed end up breaking up. So you think, oh my God, this is going to mirror Sam and Dean's relationship. Then after the episode, things like take a 180 and we shift focus to the plot of the season, and they just don't really talk about it. It is talked about again in the season finale, where Sam tells Dean that it's his fault that Gadriel got out, and Sam says that he has to relive Kevin's death over and over again, and Sam tells Dean that he's their best shot at killing Metatron. Because, you know, Mark of Cain, first blade power. Dean like tries to apologize before going to fight Metatron, but Sam doesn't let him, and then Dean like clocks him in the head, so I'm honestly not counting that bullshit. And then when Dean is dying, Sam is like, oh my God, no, I lied about being able to let you die, and then proceeds to attempt to bring him back. I want to know that he actually doesn't. It's Dean like dies and turns into a demon, and it's because Crowley put the first blade in his arm, so isn't actually Sam. This to me is the perfect example of how Supernatural really had something and then just decided to not do anything with it. Like, why bring up the valid criticisms that Sam had about Dean's behavior towards him and then never really address it after it's brought up, and then have them not fight for like 8 episodes and then address it briefly but still not really get into it, and then have Sam do the exact same thing with Dean, or attempt to do the exact same thing with Dean. First of all, we wasted time. and energy fighting when it wasn't even going to change anything. We never resolved the fight. Like, they never actually sat down and talked about what happened, like mature adults, and came to a conclusion and understood each other's POV. Do you know Dean violated Sam's body? Like, there's no other way to put that, and it was brushed under the rug. Then Supernatural's solution was just to make Sam a hypocrite. I would rather have Sam stick to his guns about this. He can be sad that Dean is dying, and he cannot want that to happen, but he should have shown that he would have respected Dean's bodily autonomy the way that Sam wanted Dean to do that. That would have been more interesting. Like, you still could have had Dean do that whole demon thing, but like, have Sam stick to what he said. He was right. Then Sam feels guilty for the whole situation. Like, no, Sam. Yes, you handled it badly, but you were right. And I'm saying this as someone who doesn't own a Sam cardboard cutout, okay? Dean should have never done that, and Supernatural should have never started a plot they couldn't finish properly. This isn't like the only example of this happening. Like, how about when Dean was so mad at Cass for not responding to his prayers and for like not trusting him and fucking off and taking the angel tablet in season 8, and they were on the brink of divorce. And then Dean made like this quick prayer where he was like, hey Cass, all's good. Come heal my brother. I mean, he didn't know Cass was human at that point, but like, he just kind of let it go. And then we like never talked about the valid concerns that Dean brought up about Cass's behavior. Why bring it up if you're not going to resolve it properly and just half-ass it? How about the Dean and Jack conflict that started when Jack accidentally killed Mary? That was never actually resolved, at least in my opinion. They like just bounced between Dean making Jack a cake and Dean wanting Jack to blow up, and to Dean wanting Jack to go back to the bunker with them. Like, we had that one conversation where Dean thanked him for what he was doing. That was counteracted by Dean pulling a gun on Sam so that he could get Jack to the room to blow up. I just think that, again, Dean and Jack should have had a long, honest, and open conversation where they talked through the problems and came to a solution. Especially because what they did is they just killed Jack off at the end of season 14 after this huge like thing where Dean wanted to kill him because he accidentally killed Mary, and like Jack didn't have a soul and he didn't do it on purpose, and he like was trying to redeem himself and like get Sam and Dean's love back, and then he just like Chuck ended up killing him. And then they just brought him back halfway through and were like, hey, here's Jack, and they brought him out back without a soul, and then they gave him back his soul, but they gave him back his soul like 6 episodes toward near the end of the series. So I'm kind of like, oh, well, they don't have time to really, like, they're going to spend time to address this, and then they just really don't address it to the capacity that should have been addressed. Like, him and Sam were fine. I feel like we didn't really need to go super into that detail, but him and Dean were not fine. They weren't fine the entire time. And they would just have like these contradictory things happen, and it would be really, really frustrating to me as a viewer, especially because we would have Dean like go from like hot and cold towards Jack the entire time, and it was like we never got to resolve that. And it's like, okay, well, how did Dean feel about Jack in the end? Like, we can assume that, you know, he thought of him as family, but we also had him yelling at Sam like 2 episodes ago that Jack wasn't family. So, like, what is... I understand, okay, I do, that he had like every right to be mad at Jack, especially at the beginning. But like, if they were going to take the time to like keep Jack in the show, and they made the choice to do this, they could have at least tried harder to mend that bridge that had been broken, or like show me that they understood how to deal with a plot like that, because the nuances and the gray areas and the family relationship and all that was like very interesting to explore, and they could have done something with that, but they just I don't know. They just, now he's gone, so we just went peace. Bye. Like, I just don't feel comfortable leaving the show after Dean yelling about how Jack wasn't their family and that never being resolved. Because like, I see them as family, so I wanted the show to like mend that bridge, before Jack left to go be God. You know, it's kind of upsetting because I think Supernatural has some really interesting conflicts, and like imagine if we showed good conflict resolution and we addressed these problems head on instead of like half-assing it, or realizing that you can't actually resolve the conflict in the time span given, so you just change how that person feels in service of ending the conflict. Like I feel like Supernatural really shoots for the stars and then realizes they don't know how to fix it. Like if you're gonna start writing a plot, please resolve it. It's lazy, okay, and it wasted my time and patience, and just like people dying on the show, the fights are at the end of the day sometimes honestly meaningless. And I really don't think that, especially when the show brought in, it's just so freaking frustrating at times when I think about the potential of the conversations that could have been had and the things that were brought up, but they never really wanted to explore them, and they didn't know how to get out of the conflict. Just figure out what you want to do, you know, and do it, and resolve the conflicts if you want to keep the conflicts, or if you want to make conflicts. It's all I ask, you know? You start something, fucking finish it. 5. Okay, well, I rolled a 5. Side characters. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Alright, laptop again. So, there are so many freaking side characters in the show. There's 15 seasons. We have many random victims every week, all of that. So, you know, it's honestly a lot. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I have a list of main side characters, and then I have a list of like side characters. So the main side characters are the ones that I would say like reoccur the most in the show. And I'm going to draw 4 from there, and I'm just going to briefly talk about whoever I draw. And then I'm going to do 2 from the side characters because there won't be as much to say. But, you know, in case someone comes up. Well, let's do this. Okay, pick a random item. Who do we pick? Cat. Okay, wow. See, this is, I feel like, the metaphor for what he was on the show. Unwanted. Okay, let me talk about Ketch then.
What the hell are you doing here?
Do we really have to do all this again? Last time we were together, I saved your lives and you shot me. Doesn't that make us even?
So Ketch was introduced in season 12 of Supernatural. He was part of the British Men of Letters plotline. And for those of you who don't know what a British Men of Letter is, so there's the Men of Letters, which is like the super secret cult society that really likes the supernatural, and that's what Sam and Dean's grandfather Henry was a part of. The bunker they live in is a Men of Letters bunker. The British Men of Letters are the British version of that society. They were like one of the worst plots I've ever seen in the show. I hated them. And Ketch, I did not like Ketch. In fact, I viscerally hated him. When he died, I threw a celebration. And I'm sorry if there's any Ketch stands out there. He didn't do it for me. He made me mad. He reminded me of the British Men of Letters plotline, which is probably why I hated him more than I should have. So let's just look at his run on the show. So we get introduced to him. He's like the assassin, okay? He wears black and he thinks he's so cool because he's got a British accent and he's an assassin. And he's the British Men of Letters assassin. And he's supposed to be like super cold and dark and all this. And he spends the entire season kind of like being assassiny, and then when Mary joins the British Men of Letters for plot reasons, anyways, so when she joins, her and Ketch end up being paired as like monster hunting buddies, and then there's some sexy fun times, and I'm like, but why? Like, I'm not saying that Mary doesn't deserve to get laid, like go off girl, but like, was it necessary, Supernatural? No, it was not. Anyway, so then because he like, I don't know, got infatuated with Mary or something, I don't know. Anyways, he was kind of like a little bit cray-cray. He watched Mary get like mind controlled by the British men of letters. Then he came in and he like tried to stop Dean from getting her out of the mind control, and then he was killed at the end of season 12. And you're like, oh, okay, Ketch is gone, awesome. And then he comes back. Who wanted him back? Don't say in the comments you wanted him back. I just don't want to listen. I didn't want him back, okay? I didn't want him back. Maybe some other people wanted him back. I didn't. I was so happy when he died the first time. And then he was all like, I met Rowena once in Britain, and she was in our like lockups or something, and in exchange for like letting her go, she put one of those little like come back to life things in me, and I was like, okay, but why? Rowena, I love you, but honey, why'd you do that? And then he comes back, and now he's like, I want to be good guy. And so then he tries to like, oh my god, yeah. And he's like working for Asmodeus at one point, and then he like betrays Asmodeus and kidnaps Gabriel, the archangel who was kidnapped by Asmodeus, the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy. Then he like brings Gabriel to Sam and Dean and is like, look, here, it's an archangel as a peace offering. Heard you need archangel grace. And then they like open a little portal to the alternate dimension, and Sam and Dean's like, I want Ketch to go with me. And I was like, okay. And so then they go on a little alternate dimension apocalypse world adventure to try to get Jack and Mary, but Dean, being Dean, gets distracted because he sees alternate dimension Charlie and is like, oh my god, it's got to save her. And I'm like, okay. And then Ketch ends up like staying behind in apocalypse world with alternate version Charlie, and then he's just like back, and then he kind of like is like in and out, I don't know. Anyways, and then in season 15 he like comes back, and he kind of has this like thing with Rowena, but then Rowena dies, and then he dies, and I was like, no. Like, honestly, I liked him at first. I'm gonna go British. Oh no. Oh god, no. Anyways, I liked him at first, and then he started to like not be a cool assassin and be kind of lame. And then he just didn't shoot Sam and Dean in the head when he should have, because like he was trying to kill the American hunters so the British could like take over the hunting business. And he, instead of shooting Sam and Dean in the head, locked them in their bunker with 3 days to figure out a way out. Like, yeah, I know that is pretty cruel to like die of, you know, asphyxiation, I guess. They run out of air. But like, it's Sam and Dean. Have you not read their file? They're gonna get away. They're literally gonna find a way out of that. Shoot them in the head, and then they're dead. And then that's when I really got mad at Ketch, because no longer was he the cool assassin. Okay, he was just lame now. He killed all the other hunters by shooting them, but no. He leaves Sam and Dean 3 days to find a way out of that bunker. And guess what they fucking do? So that's on you, Ketch. And then he decides to like he wants to be good. And then he like never talks to Mary again. So like, what was the point of the like romance? I don't know. I'm over it. Okay, let's do another draw. I can't rant about this anymore. Wow, we're just picking some great people. Okay.
Straw me. Maybe.
Alright, I already talked a little bit about Metatron when he was pretending to be God, but I'll give you a little bit more about Metatron. So basically he was Chuck's scribe, and then he like locked himself, he disappeared. So okay, let me go back. Okay, so he was God's scribe. He was the one who wrote like the tablets. So God basically told him what he wanted on the tablets, and then Chuck wrote, not Chuck, and then Metatron wrote all of them. So he gets brought in when the tablets get brought in. Basically, he like disappeared and then went to go like live off the grid in this random ass hotel. And he's read like every single story. He really likes stories. That's his thing. He's a very much big fan of stories. He's got all this pop culture knowledge. He really likes interesting character arcs and all that jazz. So like he really likes stories. And then he kind of comes back with this diabolical plot, and he manipulates Cass into like starting the process of closing the gates of heaven, because he wanted all the angels to fall. And then he wanted to like go about his big plot that I told you about when he, you know, wanted to become God. And then after he gets imprisoned, he kind of just chills in prison. And then Sam and Cass, in their ever much brilliance, break him out. And then he like, then Cass takes him on a road trip to go find his grace. And then he like betrays Cass and grabs the angel tablet. It's a whole thing. Then he was human for a while. Then Chuck was like, hey, come look at my manuscript. And then, you know, Amara killed him. So he had a fun journey. I actually didn't mind Metatron. He was weaselly and manipulative, but honestly, he was probably one of the most competent villains of this entire show. That's not saying a whole lot, but I feel like Metatron had a certain like uniqueness to him and a certain pizzazz that actually made him really interesting to watch. And then they just kind of wrote him off the show and made him like a lame human. So that's Metatron. Ed. I can never remember who is who. They talked a bit about the ghost facers earlier, so maybe I'll skip this one. Adam. Okay, that's actually a good one.
How'd you know my dad?
Oh, we work together.
How did he die?
On the job.
He's a mechanic, right?
A car fell on him.
Okay, so Adam is Sam and Dean's half-brother. Yes, Mr. John Winchester was a little hoe, and he got another little hoe pregnant, and then so was born Adam. So we first meet Adam in, I believe, season 3 or 4. Can't quite remember. He gets introduced to the show, and then it's presumed that he's like dead in the episode, like because some ghouls, they like suck his face off and like were possessing him, I guess. So he was basically dead, but he did exist. He was like the real half brother. And then the angels needed a vessel for Michael because Dean was like, I don't want to be Michael's vessel. I don't want to look like a Peaky Blinder yet. And I was like, no, Dean, be a Peaky Blinder. No, I'm kidding. So the angels like brought Adam back because I guess it's like the Winchester line makes the best vessels or something. So they're like, if we can't have Dean and Sam's already meant to be Lucifer's vessel, then we'll take Adam, the half-brother. So like then Adam gets manipulated into saying yes to Michael by the angels. So then he gets possessed by Michael. And then Sam pushes them both in the cage in hell. So then he's locked in the cage in hell from season 5 all the way up until season 15. And they really don't address it at all. No one ever tries to get him out. He's very much just forgotten. The we're family doesn't matter when it comes to Adam, I guess. And we're like, we didn't like that half-brother anyways. We don't like that our dad had another kid. We're gonna leave him to rot in hell. They really just never even tried. It's like they forgot his existence. And then in season 15, when Chuck throws a tantrum and opens a rift in hell, letting all of hell like out, Adam's able to escape. And so Adam's been in the cage for 12 years with Michael in him as well. And when he comes out, him and Michael have kind of formed like an alliance, right? Like they actually have like a pretty good working relationship of the vessel because they actually spent like 12 years just basically the two of them and Lucifer. So, you know, boy's not doing too hot. Lucifer did try to tell everyone that like Michael went crazy in the cage, but he came out perfectly fine. He would just like had a new bromance with Adam. And then, so he's brought back, and Dean actually does apologize for not searching for them, which I actually thought was a good touch to add in. Like, I wasn't super upset about them never searching for Adam, but I do think it's kind of a dick move. So I do appreciate that they actually did have Dean apologize for that. So that was actually a good move. And then Michael decides to be a bad bitch and betray them, and then he dies. So he's dead. What can I say about Adam? I mean, he wasn't really in much of the show, and he was used mostly as a plot. Actually, he was only used as a plot device. His entire character was to be a plot device. He was needed to like have another vessel for the angels. That's why he was brought into the show. And then they decided never to touch him again. And then they brought him back because they needed Michael's to like help them open a portal to purgatory, and they needed Michael's help to take out God. Didn't really have much of a character. He was really just a plot device. So that's Adam. Ellen. Okay.
Ellen?
Hello, boys.
Ellen, what the heck's going on here? We're us.
So Ellen was introduced in season 2. She owned like this hunter bar. She was good friends with Bobby. Bobby really gets around with all the hunters. He's part of the club. Sam and Dean have their own little thing going on. But yeah, so she has like a hunter bar. She has a daughter named Jo who was also in the show, and she's a hunter as well. She's really only in season 2, and I would say only really the first half of season 2. I feel like she kind of tries to play this like bit of a motherly role to Sam and Dean, like kind of. But honestly, I didn't really like Ellen, nor did I like Jo. I don't think there was a lot to their characters besides being female hunters. I know that like Ellen's husband and Joe's dad is dead, so there was like something there. But honestly, I don't know. She was what, like sarcastic, and she was a tough gal, but like other than that, she really didn't have a lot going on. And I don't know, they brought her back every once in a while randomly. I'd be like, oh, there she is. I don't want her here. And yeah, honestly, she really wasn't much of a deep character for me. She really just appeared out of nowhere and then disappear, and then they never talk about her, and then she'd like come back and then they never talk about her, and then she died. Though I do think that her dying with Joe, when Joe sacrificed, just like they sacrificed themselves to like blow up, and I think it was hellhounds that were attacking or something. But yeah, so I liked that death for her. I thought that was a really sweet moment for her to like want to stay and die with her child. I thought that was really nice. But other than that, I don't really have any warm feelings toward Ellen. Charlie.
Hey, there's a big ass guard up here blocking the door. What do I do?
Just wait him out.
I'm gonna be honest, before we begin, I don't really like Charlie. I don't really have, like, I don't hate her or anything. I don't really like her either, which is unfortunate, because I kind of wanted to, but I just never did. So she was introduced in season 7 with the Leviathan plotline. She looked at Dick Roman's little enterprise. She's like a hacker, she's a nerd, she's gay, she has like, she's like fun, she's got like a lot of energy in her, she's very much like a fangirl, very smart. We get to know that like her mom's in a coma or something, and yeah, she like She went to Oz at one point with Dorothy. She like made them an Infinity credit card at one point. She had a very good relationship with Dean. Dean kind of saw her as like a little sister, and that was kind of sweet. She died in season 10. The Stein family killed her because she had was in possession of like the book. It was like revenge for them taking the Book of the Damned. Like Sam took the Book of the Damned, and then Dean went on like a killing spree after that of the entire Stein family, which I'm okay with. The Stein family really needed to go. Yeah, I don't know what it was about her. I found it a little bit cringy at times, and I think they tried a little bit too, you know what, it came off as disingenuous. I appreciate what she was to this show. I appreciate that, you know, they tried to diversify by bringing in like a character that was a homosexual, and you know, she was like a nerd, and that was cool and all, but I wasn't really feeling her, and I feel like they tried a little bit too hard to make me like her, and that made me not like her, if that makes sense. Like I really think that they really wanted me to like her, and I just didn't. I went the opposite way. Like the more they tried to make me like her, the more I disliked her. So like I don't really have any hatred or anything, and you know, I definitely hate a lot of people more, but I just don't really like her that much, honestly. So okay, let's pick 2 of the side characters. Jessica.
If I'd have called, would you have picked up?
Sam?
Jess. Hey. Dean, this is my girlfriend, Jessica.
Wait, your brother Dean?
Fun. Okay, so Jessica was Sam's girlfriend. She died in episode 1, and she died the same way that Mary died. So yellow-eyed demon came and burned her on the ceiling. And then it started off basically Sam getting back into hunting and leaving with Dean, and then wanting revenge against the yellow-eyed demon. And so begins our show. She had not died, Sam wouldn't have gone with Dean to hunt, and we wouldn't have our 15-season show. I honestly can't tell you anything about Jessica because I don't know anything about Jessica. She wore really short shorts and a really short shirt, and that's all I can tell you about Jessica. She's blonde, she's quite pretty, and she and Sam were in love. Cole.
Cole, it's fine. Dean? Put it down! Cole, hey, right here. We're talking, okay?
How can I believe you? Huh?
I feel like Cole was kind of a blip in the timeline. Okay, so Cole came in season 10 when Dean was like a demon. And he was brought in with this like backstory where I guess a while back, like when Sam and Dean weren't together, like when Sam was at university, Dean killed Cole's dad because I guess Cole's dad was possessed by a supernatural being, or was a supernatural being. I don't know, Dean said he'd never seen any being like that before, and he never did again. So yeah, he like killed him, and I guess Cole saw this, and then Cole spent all of these years doing this like revenge thing where he was like training up and getting ready to kill Dean. And I guess in season 10, this was his moment to shine. So he like kidnaps Sam and he tries to take all this information on Dean. He like confronts Dean, but Dean's like Demon Dean. So Demon Dean's like gonna win, you know? And then he like comes back when Dean's not a demon anymore, and Dean like talks him out of killing him because he doesn't want Cole to go down the route that he went down, you know? The Dean talk, you know, don't be like me, be better, go to your family. Oh yeah, he had like a family and kids. Yeah, like he had like a wife and like 2 kids, and and so then he like leaves the show and he comes back a little while later when like his army bud is possessed by this thing, and then he gets possessed by I don't know, like some sort of blood thing. All I know is that it made you really dehydrated. And so like you want to drink, like it needed water or something. Oh, it was a parasite. It was a parasite. And I remember they were trying to get a parasite out of him. And they were like in this cabin and he couldn't like drink water or whatever. Has a parasite like jump out of you? It was a parasite. Yeah, I remember that now. So, and then he just disappeared from the show. We never saw Cole again. So I'm assuming Cole's just happy with his family. I didn't really like Cole. Cole was so weird. Cole was like, here, it's a random backstory for this random ass person that we're going to introduce for no fucking reason. Enjoy. I hate when Supernatural does that. Agent Henriksen.
You know what my job is?
I mean, besides locking up the good guys? I have no idea.
My job is boring. It's frustrating. You work 3 years for one break, and then maybe you can save a few people. Maybe.
So he was the FBI agent who was trying to arrest Sam and Dean for like season 2 and season 3 kind of. Yeah, so he was trying to arrest them for like, you know, all of their crimes. Let's name a few. Murder, grave desecration, credit card fraud, impersonating and federal agents, as well as some other smaller entities like Fish and Wildlife and therapists and child protective services, and that one time an insurance agency. What else we got? I guess this is the main one. Oh yeah, car theft. They do kill cars. They do steal cars quite a bit. Yeah, anyways, but basically he was going for the murder, you know? Oh, bank robbery too, because they like robbed a bank by accident too as well. And escaping from prison, because they were in prison and then they escaped. Oh my god, they had a rap sheet doll. And then in season 3, they messily closed the plot by having him realize that they're hunters, and then, you know, being like, oh, well, I guess you guys are saving the world, and then he helps them fake their death, and then he dies in an explosion when Liv comes in and blows up the police station. And Agent Henderson, to me, represents what I hate most about Sam and Dean in law enforcement, is that every single time they're in like hot shit, the show will just have them reveal that they're like monster hunters, and then the law enforcement would be like, oh my god, no, you're actually saving the world. Okay, we'll just forget everything and we'll help you out. And it's like every single time. It's like, can we just, I don't know, do something different? It just feels cheap every single time, especially with Agent Henriksen, because he spent all that time tracking them down and then suddenly just changed his tune, especially when they just forgot about the whole being wanted by the FBI in season 3 and then quickly closed up the plot and then killed him off. I'm like, okay, so stupid. Amelia Novak. So that's Jimmy Novak's wife, because there's 2 Amelias. Alright, there's not really much to say about her. Her husband is Cass's vessel, Jenny Novak. She has her kid, Claire Novak, who's in the show a lot. What happened is Cass was like kind of forced out of Jimmy for a while, for like a minute there. And so then Jimmy came back, and then he didn't want to like Cass back in, but Cass really like needed to go back in because Apocalypse and all that. And then Cass was like going to possess Claire. My memory's a little bit fuzzy on it, but basically Jimmy died, and then Cass was able to permanently occupy his vessel. And then Jimmy dying and Cass permanently occupying the vessel sent kind of Amelia on a bit of a spiral, and she like abandoned Claire and left in her grief-stricken way. And then she disappears from the show. We reunite with Claire when Cass wants to make amends for what he did. And she's like, and then like Cass helps her find her mom, and her mom's being held hostage by like a Grigori who's feeding off of her. And then we save mom, and then mom dies, and Claire is without parents. But don't worry, Jody takes her in, so Claire is with one adopted parent. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about Amelia. McDavid.
Catch. Why'd you call me here?
Oh, I didn't.
Why are we getting anyone for British Metal Letters plotline? Okay, McDavies was from the British Metal Letters plotline. He was like the main guy in charge of the British coming over to the American hunters. Like he was the main one in charge of the operation in America and getting the American hunters on board with their plans to like kill all the monsters and all that. And he did a pretty shit job. He ended up really liking Sam and Dean after they went on like a little bit of a buddy mission. And then he was killed by Ketch, shot in the head, and some other British lady came and took over. I wasn't a big fan of McDavies. I wasn't a big fan of anyone in the British Mellors plotline. He was annoying, and I feel like he really shifted gears like all of a sudden. Like he was like bad boy, and then he was like good boy, and then he was dead boy, and I was like, okay, it happened very quickly. Eve! Okay, show me the last one. Eve.
We're not about to sign up for an evil bitch. We don't work with demons. We don't work with monsters. And if that means you gotta kill us, then kill us.
Or I turn you, and you do what I want anyway.
Is as like Adam V. She's the mother of all monsters. She comes in season 6. The dragons bring her out of wherever she was, and because you know Crowley and Cass are threatening her children, so then she's all like, I need to protect my children and all that, and Sam and Dean are like, no, we need to kill you. So they like go get Phoenix ashes from the cult guy, and then they kill her, and then it's revealed that actually Cass and Crowley were the villains in the entire season the entire time, and she was just a distraction. Oh, to tell you, she was a pretty girl, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Out in about maybe next month. Who knows? Life's hard. Anyways, thanks. Bye.